It seems like every other week or so we're getting new HD remakes announced. You know, older games that we love that are just going to be re-released with better graphics, and we're going to have to pay for them all over again. It's not all of a bad idea for marketing. I mean, it actually works, and there are some games, like Shadow of the Colossus, I was super excited to play again with the prettier graphics. But there are some games that, after I rebought them, they just didn't stand up the test of time. You know, they just kind of didn't meet up with the excitement that I had the first time I played them. One of those games is definitely Beyond Good and Evil. Huge Beyond Good and Evil fan. So when it came back out for re-release, I was so excited to play it. And then I played it, and then, I don't know, it just didn't like have that same excitement behind it. It actually kind of cheapened my passion for it, because when I had played it 2 or 3 times when it was first came out, it was just amazing. It really blew my mind. And for all these years, I always remembered that game as being remarkable. And then it gets re-released, and it just kind of, it didn't stand the test of time. There was so much about it that just didn't translate well in today's gaming mentality that, I don't know, just kind of, I guess, sullied the whole thing. But then there are games, like I mentioned before, Shadow of the Colossus, that come out and they are just as good as you remembered them, if not a little bit better, because the graphics are, ooh, so much prettier. But I do understand the argument that, you know, we were able to play a lot of our old PlayStation 2 games on the PS3. That is until the option was taken away from us. Instead of 2 systems, one that had the option and one that didn't have the option but would be remarkably cheaper, they just took the option away from us. I had a PS3 that could play PS2 games. That is until it died. By the time it died, I didn't have the option to buy a PS3 that played PlayStation 2 games, which is really disappointing. Because even now, I think PlayStation 2 had one of the most creative libraries of games. That's when we were really like pushing the envelope with how creative story and gameplay really could get. So one game that I would definitely buy again if they just, you know, made it prettier is Eternal Darkness. I know, I'm doing a video on Planet Xbox 360 and Planet PlayStation. I'm talking about a GameCube game. But I think Eternal Darkness would do extremely well if re-released on PSN and Xbox Live. It's just one of those games that I will always remember as being a life-changing kind of game. We never saw a game like it before. We haven't seen a game like it since. If you played it, do you remember you go insane? And the game would actually mess with your mind. It was just awesome. You got to play as tons of different characters, different time periods, different stories, and it all would tie down to one specific thing. And you had your health meter, your mana meter, and your sanity meter, and you would slowly just go insane, and then the game would totally mess with your mind. And it was revolutionary. I would remember that cool like walkway that had the screaming faces. Yeah, totally awesome. One game that I've been hearing rumors that they're doing an HD re-release for is Fatal Frame. Fatal Frame is one of my all-time favorite games ever, but I wouldn't want this game remade. Not that I don't think it would stand up the test of time. I think it would. I think Fatal Frame would still be just as fun and just as terrifying today as it was then. But the reason I don't really see it doing really well if it was HD remade is because the thing with Fatal Frame is the gritty, just dark and very black and white type of atmospheres and graphics are kind of on purpose. It's what added to the terrifying atmosphere, to the uncomfortable atmosphere. If you go through and clean that up, make it a little prettier, I don't know, I think the game will kind of be missing a huge chunk of it, because seriously, the atmosphere in Fatal Frame was a character of its own. So tell me guys, first of all, I want to know, what do you guys think about the HD remake phenomenon? Are we getting a little bit too many? Are we getting games that just don't translate well? Or are we not seeing enough? Or are systems like the PS3 banking too much on these HD remakes? Are they putting too much into it that we're not getting enough new IPs and new games and we're just getting re-releases? I'd love to know your thoughts. And second of all, I want to know, what are some games that you would love to see re-released with prettier graphics? Maybe some of your old school favorites that have just been overlooked. Or maybe it's some games that were just on last generation consoles like the PS2 and the Xbox. Let me know in the comments. Thanks guys.